Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey Nochel Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good Monday evening.
Yep, that's right.
How you doing, man? You look a little rough there.
I'm rough. I have been sick ever since I last talked to you. I helped our boy Ben Goldsmith. You remember Ben? He had a short film that he's shooting. So I just did 3 days on that, despite the fact that I've been sick. So I've basically been sleeping in my car whenever I wasn't shooting, or sleeping in a chair on set, or sleeping on the floor on set. Not getting a lot of sleep otherwise. I've had a headache for about 24 hours. So that's good. I assume I have the feeling, the terrible headache I've had for the last 24 hours makes me feel like this is what guys with like severe CTE must go through. And now I get why they kill their wives and children and shit like that. Like, I could kill everybody with a gun right now.
I think they most likely kill themselves, though, right?
Yeah. But I get why they take everybody else out with them.
That's why you just gotta
If I had a gun, I might have killed myself last night.
Well, you gotta just get copious amounts of marijuana then.
Yeah.
Right, ease the pain.
Struggle is real.
Well, I mean, that's what you get for doing we're doing short films. What are we doing short films for, Prano?
Well, that's you know, there's a lot of different answers to that, but the overriding one in this situation, you know, sometimes you just really love the script and you think it's gonna be great for your reel, and you're gonna, you know, who knows, maybe it'll turn into a feature one day and you're gonna go to a film fest and meet Quentin Tarantino. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons, I guess, to do it if you're a young actor out there. I'm doing it because I owe Ben a lot of favors. That's why I happen to be doing it.
And I mean, HJ isn't a bad. Like, I might give out a hand job before I said
I would do it, and then I couldn't bail on him last minute. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna come, but just so you know, like, whenever it's like, if it's like 50-50, I'm in the shot, I'm sleeping on the side of the fucking room. So yesterday was sleeping in a, you know, easy chair, lazy boy. The day before was a lot of sleeping in my car. Yeah. It's been a rough couple days, rough weekend.
Did you get to sleep the weekend though?
Not really. No, I had to be on set at like 8 a.m. one day, 9 a.m. the next day.
Is he doing a feature or a short film? This sounds exhausting.
Bro, don't make me go like, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts.
I'm trying to get it out of you. I know you're not trying.
Yeah.
Like I'll be honest, for me,
it's a movie about pickleball.
Is it about pickleball?
It's about pickleball.
How long is this film? We talk short film.
I think 30 minutes.
Dude, you know, I'm so far removed from that shit, being out here in the great state of Ohio, which I saw you take a dig at on TikTok. And I wrote dislike.
I know. I did. Well, I
saw you take a dig at my state.
To be fair, did you see the video that is from?
No.
Oh my God. It's unbelievable. This girl is like, I don't know. She's got to be 260 pounds. She's maybe 300 pounds.
Noise.
She's got like blue hair.
Mm.
She's TikToking in her car. She's going to show you her like low calorie, like 0 cal fucking frappe. The way so like basically what she does is she gets like she just gets like a big cup of ice and like this much coffee from a Starbucks. and then she's going to show you to make her diet version. How this woman is making diet, she's 270 pounds, like easy. So I'm like, you do diet shit? I mean, maybe just stick with the full Frappuccino at this point.
Yeah.
So then she takes like muscle milk in place of the Starbucks, whatever. Oh, it's like her high protein.
She's getting the protein. Yeah. I drink that after workouts.
So she goes muscle milk onto the coffee. Then she takes out her 0-cal, sugar-free Hershey's chocolate syrup.
That's just full of bad chemicals.
Yeah. And she's going to give it a drizzle. But she decides that she's got to shake the Hershey syrup first. And when she shakes it, it goes fucking everywhere. In her face, her hair, on her clothes, all up over her car.
Now I need to see this.
Yeah. And she just has a full meltdown. And in the middle of it, she's like, why do I live in Ohio and everything is terrible? Like, so I just use the sound. If you go to my page and then you click the video that I use the sound from, and then once I saw her shit on Ohio, I was just like, I gotta use that.
So, okay.
And why do I live in Ohio?
I'm on your page.
So go to it, and if you click on the bottom right corner, that's the sound that it came from.
Oh, hold on. God damn it. How's this? Dude, me and TikTok. What do I click on? Oh. Hold on. I gotta pull this one up. Bro. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Let me.
These are the people that live in Ohio, by the way.
These are my peeps. This is my family. This is my Ohio people. Okay.
250-pound blue-haired.
No, she's not blue-haired.
Them.
You got the hair color wrong.
What does she got?
She's got what is
it? Sorry, yellow and pink hair. Whatever.
Yellow and pink hair. All right. Let's get this going here.
This is 1 shot of espresso with
Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Sugar-free vanilla syrup. Oh God, everything is difficult today. God. Starting off with my 0 sugar Hershey's chocolate, I put in my Fitness Pal.
Fitness Pal.
I put 3 tablespoons. So I'm just gonna kind of estimate because I don't have tablespoon with me. I didn't open it all the way. Okay.
So she didn't open it. So she's got to take her thing off.
Tastes good.
Just go right back to putting it in right now. Like,
no, I want to watch this.
Yeah, I know, but at what why would anyone think that they need to shake?
We'll I think it'll be fine in this. I need to shake it. I'm fucking
the nose ring too.
Look at it on the ceiling of her car.
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit is never coming out.
So I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of this chocolate syrup.
It just keeps going.
Hold on, that's kind of impressive that she doesn't stop.
But eventually she stops and has a full nervous breakdown.
Okay, so like she's composed right now.
Yeah.
That looks about right. Like, you're kidding me. Oh my God, it's all over my ceiling. I just hate everything. And why do I...
Do you think she's faking though?
I don't think so. That seemed pretty real.
Live in Ohio.
And she just once she breaks down, her first 2 lines are, "I just hate everything," and "Why do I live in Ohio?"
Up on me. Who else does this happen to? Literally, who else does this? It's in my hair. My hair. What the fuck? I didn't know that the lid wasn't on. It's fine.
She's whining like my 2-year-old. No, Daddy, no, Daddy, I don't want to go to the bathroom. I don't want to go take a bath. That's how she sounds.
Everything's fine. I just washed my hair too.
You couldn't tell.
I have to wash it again. It doesn't even taste good. It's not even good chocolate. It's so disgusting.
It's
And I
insane.
want avocado toast.
Wait, what did she say about avocado? She just wants avocado toast? Did she just say, I just want avocado toast?
Avocado toast? There's non sequiturs to her entire mental breakdown.
This is amazing. This is better than any video I've ever done.
Your chocolate syrup in your coffee, you're gonna get your fucking protein shake, which wasn't even the protein shake I wanted. I wanted fucking Fairlife, but all Kroger had was fucking Muscle Milk.
Kroger, there we
And
go.
I don't like the name Muscle Milk.
I don't like the name Muscle Milk. Dude, you just made a Muscle Milk coffee chocolate fucking
It's my
shit. Like,
protein coffee, under 250 calories with 40 grams of protein. Okay, this
I eat everything. Why do I live in Ohio? Fucking just right to the source. Bitch, move.
I wonder what part of Ohio she lives.
I don't know. Somewhere where the Krogers only sell Muscle Milk.
When Kroger's the brand here. That's my based here in Cincinnati.
It's funny. I didn't even know what she said at first. She's like, I was like, what the fuck is that? And then she's like, Kroger. I was like, oh, I think she said she hates living in Ohio. I was like, I go back and snag that just to go. That's on brand for me.
I would never, like, if I had a shitty day, that would never cross my mind. Why do I live in Ohio? like,
Look at her, Andy. She doesn't.
Oh, she could be transplanted into a lot of states, is what I'm saying. You take her look, her reaction.
Well, that's my point, which is look at her. Ohio is not the place for her. She needs to just move to Portland.
Yeah.
She can't, she's dealing with a lot. She's got chocolate in her shit. It probably takes her 10 years to dye her hair 2 different colors to go perfectly in 2 different directions. You can't wake up and have to get your fucking protein shake at a Kroger in Youngstown. Just move to
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Although the Starbucks, I'm not, me, I'm not a coffee guy, but Brittany is the Starbucks at the Kroger by us.
Oh, you got the Starbucks in the Krogers.
Oh,
because Kroger's is Albertsons, right?
It's Ralph's,
which is also Albertsons. Is it all the same?
Well, they tried to buy Albertsons. Kroger's the biggest. It's the biggest grocery chain in the country, so they own like basically the country.
Right.
Whatever state you're in, I don't know the name of it, but yeah.
So Kroger owns Ralph's.
They own Ralph's. So they own. I forget all the brands they own, but yeah, I've talked about this. The one by me is I don't even know what it is. It's like its own world. It has everything. It has literally a full sushi bar, a full I told you there's a bar. There's a full bar in the Kroger by me.
Yeah.
There's a gambling kiosk. There's a bank. There's a candy store. I'm like, this I keep saying
that's because you're in the epicenter of Kroger. Is Kroger from Ohio or Kroger's from like
No, so I'm saying it's based the headquarters in Cincinnati. There's a big building downtown.
Yeah.
But
my buddy is from Syracuse and he has a big Kroger up there. He loves it. Has a bunch of shit in it. And I'm like, okay, it's a fucking supermarket.
But they make it a thing.
Yeah.
Which is like,
it's no Stu Leonard's. You know what I'm saying?
Who's Stu?
Yeah.
Who's Stu?
Stu Leonard is that man started a fucking supermarket in Connecticut. He had a farm, so it's basically his dairy, and then, but Stu Leonard's, it's almost like I don't even know how to explain it, but like you got to go all in one direction. You know what I mean? There's no aisles. The store just flows like a fucking IKEA. And then there's like animatronics and shit. Like there's the fucking dancing Chiquita Banana, and there's the Stu Leonard's band, and then there's whatever. And you spend $100, you get a free Stu Leonard's soft serve ice cream. It's a whole thing. And they do a lot of their like Stu Leonard's brand, blah blah blah, which obviously Kroger has that as well.
Yeah, they got the cheaper version of stuff.
Yeah.
Now the Kroger by me is a little rough. That's the one I'm talking about. Isn't too far from me. The one by me is a little rough. I actually got accused of stealing from there recently. No lie. The guy asked me for my receipt. I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Sir, did you purchase that?" A little rough.
Why? You did self-checkout?
I do self checkout, and
I steal from self checkout every time.
I had purchased stuff, and then I realized I needed the fire logs, so then I went back in.
Duraflame, Duralog,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah, the Duralogs. So then I went back in. This was like a couple months ago, and I went back in, and I don't think he watched me check out. I just had the Duralogs, and he's like, "Sir, did you buy that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I think he felt weird, and he was like, "I was like, yeah, man, I got a receipt. You want me to get it?" And then he felt awkward. Like the receipt, the thing was heavy, the box. He's like, "No, you don't gotta get it." But I did have to. I was like, there's a lot of irony going on here because it was a young black kid with like dreads.
Yeah.
Like I was like, he's getting back at somebody accusing him, some white dude accused him of stealing.
Yeah.
This is like payback.
I insist on stealing if I go to self checkout. I truly insist on it. I insist on it. I don't, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not stealing something, like, but I'm stealing something.
Are you talking accidental or
No.
Oh, because I've accidentally forgot stuff and I'm got in my car like, oh,
purposeful theft every time I'm forced to use fucking self checkout. Because I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? Now I'm getting my fucking hourly wage, and in the form of these scallions that are 49 cents a fucking bundle. And then the thing is like, oh, there's an unchecked item in the bagging area. Bitch, I'm not putting that in the bagging area. That's not even going in the bagging area. I'm holding that and I'm just dropping it in the bag. Get the fuck out of here. You think your shitty little process of like, oh, you just put an item in the bagging area that you didn't pay for? Yeah, I'm not going to put shit in the bagging area.
Well, my problem with the self-checkout is there's always issues. Like if you do one little thing.
Every time. That's what I'm saying.
Every time. Call the attendant.
And then they got to come over. Yeah, call the attendant. And then they got to come over and they got to fucking do the thing. And I'm like, you have wasted my time and you've wasted my energy. You know what my go-to will be getting her like her Diet Coke or whatever. And then you put that on the underside of the cart. You know how people do that? They're like, oh. And then I'll just fucking not pay for it. And then I'm always like, well, if they ask, I'm like, oh, totally forgot that was on the bottom. I didn't. Yeah, man. Forgot the underside.
Now, see, I've done it on accident a few times. Where I'm like, oh, I forgot to pay for those croutons or like something small. But one of the things that we always joke about here is like they'll never know. I know this is so stupid. Like, oh, I bought the organic, but I marked the regular.
Oh yeah. You
know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, of course.
Like, oh, the organic's way more expensive, but I paid for the regular Honeycrisp apples. Not the organic.
Or like I'll do the like, I got the bananas, and then it'll be like, how many bananas did you get? And I'll hit 1, and I got 4 because I'm like, oh, 1's right under 4, right? 4's right under 1. I could just be like, oh, I thought I hit is right. They're right next to each other.
Petty theft, Prano.
Oh, I mean, I absolutely insist on it. And you know what? Here in Oxnard, the spot I go is a Ralph's, so I'm stealing from that Kroger's. I'm Luigi Mangione and Kroger's, just 3 bananas at a time.
I mean, you're not shooting the CEO.
No, taking them down slowly.
Which, by the way, so I grew up with a kid in my grade school whose grandfather was the former CEO.
Of Kroger?
Yeah, they had a lot of money. And then I was hanging out with them one time, and I was at his grandfather's house, and this giant picture of him in his office. And then this kid's dad, I think, had the end, right? Some nepotism at Kroger. And they bought a house. And I remember the house was so big, it was Kroger money. And I went to hang out there. They had an elevator in his house. I was like, whoa.
It's legit.
That's some Kroger money right there, dude.
You got that Kroger. Kroger? Hardly know her.
See, the thing here in Cincinnati is everybody says, and I always did, my parents, it's an older generation thing. They always add an S to it. Going down to Kroger's? I don't know why. They just.
The Tracy Morgan?
What?
That's like Tracy Morgan? Jay Moore's my uncle.
Well, it's like my dad would always, I don't know, my dad, I don't know, we don't know where it comes from. Some people in Cincinnati, my dad would say Washington. He would say Mount Washington and Warsh. I'm like, where the fuck did the R come from, Dad?
Yeah.
Warsh?
Worcestershire?
Worsting? What are you doing?
Is that the R from Worcestershire that you're not using?
Nice little grocery store
Little
discussion.
Kroger opening, all because of that fucking fat they them
That-
sprayed herself with Kroger fucking Hershey syrup.
That's a great video, though.
Oh, it's so great. That's actually the second part. There's a whole thing.
Well, let me ask you this: what, like, when somebody posts something like that, they're not. I mean, they clearly know they're getting clicks.
I think there's so many people who just like put shit up. I'm on TikTok enough where people put up shit and it immediately goes to 5 million views. And people are like, I did not know that this was going to happen. And I am fucking, and it's insane. It's insane what does and doesn't get clicks.
Do you think that's true when they say that, though?
Dude, I put up a fucking Elon Musk thing after he did the Nazi salute. And it was literally a 5-second fucking thing dunking on how all these people like will find any way to make an excuse for whatever. It's done 3.5 million views or whatever. It just like won't stop. And I was just like, and then half of it's people who don't even get the fucking joke.
Well, there's got to be a reason on any of the social media stuff why something just like suddenly takes off.
I'll tell you what, there's one that I put up when I was in Vegas a couple months ago. And on TikTok, if you want to monetize a video, it's got to be over a minute long. And so like I don't think about the length of anything ever. And I put one up and I literally like, it was one of those things where I just was like sick of hearing, we've talked about this, sick of hearing about the industry plant, this industry plant, that industry plant. And then there was this video that was going around, and every time I open TikTok while I was in Vegas at Brad Garrett's for a week, it was somebody like saying how good this video was and like whatever. And I was like, who, like, that's not like a TikTok, like, that's not even a social media like avenue to be like, how great is this music video? Like, that's not even a genre of social media, like propping something up and saying how good this is. So I was like, oh, this is this is like a social media marketing tool. Like, they've paid people to stitch the video and compliment it instead of paying for a PR team. Why not do like an organic guerrilla thing is always going to hit harder.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did a thing where I was like, all I ever see when I come on here is Zach Bryan's an industry plant, Justin Bieber's an industry plant, Taylor Swift's an industry plant, so-and-so's an industry plant. I was like, no one's calling out this obvious industry plant of all the fucking things. We've all been on TikTok all week and we all have to see this shithead band. And I'm the only one that's saying like, this is bullshit. And then I just like closed it and I opened it up a day later and it was at like 500,000 views. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? It eventually went to like 1.2 or something like that. And then all of a sudden one day TikTok was just like, hey, we put $1,300 in your bank account. And I was like, from what? Like, why? And then I had to like trace it back to the random video I made shitting on the weird guerrilla marketing campaign of this like Nepo baby band. And then I was like, I did not think that was going to be the one that blew up. And here I am, made me fucking $1,300 richer.
Maybe I should start doing TikTok.
Yeah, you should. You're the kind of guy who put out a minute-long hot take, get a bunch of people angry in the fucking things, and
What am I doing hot takes on? The best baby food? Like this is my life now, dude. Like maybe some sports stuff. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
But like
Facts only.
I have been wanting to do some baby content, some toddler content. There's a lot to be had out there.
There's tens of thousands of TikTokers out there that are legitimately had a baby, started mining it for content, and then we're like, we got to have more babies. We're making good money on this. Some people that you see on social media that find a niche and then beat that niche to death. I just feel I would rather be poor than be the guy who like sets a balloon full of white paint up over the door in his house and explodes it every time his wife comes in. I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys make $5,000 a month doing shit, but you spend your whole life cleaning your house. Your whole life is cleaning confetti and white paint up off your house. And every video they're laughing. Oh, you got me. I'm like, if this, I'd rather be dead than be in a couple that's pretending to drop paint on each other every day.
So
But
that's the
people
thing.
find this
That's
niche,
the
and
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about the niche stuff. That's basically they kind of force you into a niche, and if you're successful with it, like that's the things I've seen or read, and it's like they, especially on YouTube, man, they don't
that's
want
why
you.
everybody that's ever worked with me in any sort of community capacity has always been like, Joe Prano hates success. Every time he does something, he's like, well, never doing that again.
They don't want you. They don't want you unless you're already a name. It's tough to put out. Oh, this content is this genre of whatever comedy or whatever, and this one is this. It's like they want you to just do the same thing, which does suck creatively because you're like, oh, so videos of me, whatever, some sort of food challenge did well, and then I do a video of something else, and you're like, that doesn't do well.
I'm
You're like,
trying to think of his name. You would probably know him from LA. He was a comic. He probably still calls himself a comic, but he was a comic at one point. I forget his fucking name. He makes content on he put up a video on TikTok probably 5, 6, 7 years ago now, whatever, 2020. And it was him, like, he's like big into like alt music, like, you know, like grunge rock or whatever. Like, it's like him listening to fucking Pearl Jam when he's like, me listening to Pearl Jam's Black for the first time when I was 9, and then just being like, and the guitar hits and he's like, ugh! And it did like 5 million views, and now he's done 13,000 of them, and he's in and I'm not joking, and he's in a cover band called like Dads of Grunge, where it's like 3 other dad dudes. You would know him if you saw him. And I'm just like, oh, cool. Like, and when I first saw it, I was like, that's great that video blew up for him. And now I'm like, oh, now that's this is your whole life. You just do it's because it's not the same video. It's the same bit.
is it
It's
really
like,
Dads of Grunge?
something like that?
Oh, I'm trying to Google it. I don't know if it's the same guys. I'll find it. Who is this? I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Anyway, we should probably talk some sports. We're about 30
probably.
minutes in.
Try.
Who is it?
No, I was trying to find it. I couldn't.
Lots of stuff going on in the NFL. I think that's what we were here to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's
Where do you start?
Yeah. Where do you start?
Like if you're Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter or one of these insiders, do you love or hate these weeks? Is this like a cocaine bit? Is this like a dude high on cocaine? Is this an adrenaline rush? What is this?
This is what Adam Schefter is on Earth for.
Okay.
He lives for this.
So
this is his week. He stays in a hotel this week. He's not even at home with his family. He's like,
I don't think we've already said, I think he's just a robot anyway. I
right.
don't think he's real.
Yeah. He's like, all right, honey. He fucking packs a bag and he just like goes away for the week. He's like, it's fucking free agency week. And he has a fake living room set up at like the fucking Four Seasons somewhere. Oh yeah. And he gets, if he had time, he would get a rock hard boner at like Justin Fields to the Jets. He's like, oh my God. Oh. By the way, I love, you want to talk about Nepo baby. Ultimate Nepo baby Jordan Schultz.
Schultz.
You know who he is, right?
Yeah, he's the son of the of Starbucks Schultz.
That's literally what
remember he got in a fight with Ian Rappaport at the Starbucks.
At a Starbucks?
You didn't see this?
No.
There was
Did you try to kick him out for being on his turf?
No, it became a story within a story. There was a confrontation of Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport at a Starbucks in Indy during the Combine a couple weeks ago.
Meanwhile, the fucking employees in the back are like, "Can you just tell your dad we want a union?" And he was like, "You're fired. Get fucked." Howard Schultz, monster. And then you know it's just like one of those kids, like mega, like borderline probably billionaire CEO's son, who's just like, "Dad, I'm into sports." It's like, all right, cool. What if we just like make Marshawn Lynch tell you where he's signing next first? Yeah. Then I could put breaking on my Instagram.
Yeah, see, I don't know his full history. I knew he was the son of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, and then obviously the fight that happened.
Like
a fight. I think Schultz confronted Rappaport
about like stealing a tweet, stealing breaking.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I didn't look. I should have looked at all the sports outlets were talking about it instead of girl fight, insider fight.
Yeah,
it's also ridiculous. Even the term, all of it is. I'm confused now because one person reports it and they all report it, or somebody else will be like, per Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like you guys are all farming out the impressions and the clicks. But yeah, this is obviously a big time for them. And you mentioned it. A lot of ones where I'm like, interesting move or a classic Jets move. They're going to go
classic Jets move.
It's like, do you know, we all know Aaron Rodgers' place at this point in his career, but it's like, do you think you're going to win more games with Aaron Rodgers or Justin Fields? No, I know.
Well, forget that.
I know that. Economically.
Like, let's take that completely out of the equation.
Okay.
If you're Justin Fields and your agent calls you and he's like, we got 2 years for 40 from the Jets. Justin Fields was probably like, are you fucking kidding me? You're fired, dude.
Well, he didn't
like I'm going to play for 40 grand. I'm not joining the Jets for 40. What do they want me on the practice squad? Like you can get me a backup contract somewhere for $2 million. Like I'm not playing for, what am I, a substitute teacher in Ohio? $40,000. And he's like, I got you 40 million. And he's like, 40 million? Did you suck their dicks? Do you have pictures of Brick jacking off on a fucking underage girl? How did you do that? The Jets gave him $40 million.
Well, I mean, I don't think all that's guaranteed, but still.
It's 2 years for 40. So what's guaranteed? 20?
I don't know. It's probably not all guaranteed.
Okay, so what? But one that you got to be at like your first year's guaranteed, right?
I should probably have this up. Okay, let's I don't know what's guaranteed, but regardless, it's the most Jets move. Like when you so here's the thing. When you look at all the dumpster franchises, like traditional dumpster franchises, I think we've done this. We've done our big five. It's like Jets, Browns, Bengals, Lions,
Jaguars.
Jags. They're like, so they're all making traditional dumpster fire moves, in my opinion. So he gets $30 million guaranteed.
$30 million guaranteed.
Yeah. Nice little payday there for Fields.
He was the worst quarterback. He was a bottom 5 quarterback in the league on the Bears.
He got benched for Russell Wilson.
They got benched for Russell Wilson. And then he came in, he like slid short of a first down. This is the Jets signing Tebow. Here's my problem with it. Again, I don't even give this could work out for the Jets. This might work out. Like maybe the Jets just want to play defense and run the ball and whatever. But like this is the NFL equivalent of when we talked about the Luka thing. If you want out of the Luka business, fine. Get out of the Luka business. Get 6 first-rounders for him and Anthony Davis and whatever and rebuild your future. The idea that you traded Luka for Anthony Davis and nothing else is insane. If you want Justin Fields, get Justin Fields. No one else was bidding $40 million for Justin Fields. Like his agent was like, "Hey man, you could back up Derek Carr on the Saints for $2 million, or you could start for the Jets for 40." He's like, "Those are the offers. There's not like a contender in there that wants to give me 15." He's like, "Are you drunk?" No, only the Jets. The Jets just shot, a top 5 all-time quarterback off of their fucking premises, and now they'd like to give you $40 million because a teenager named Brick is in charge of their front office. Take the $40 million.
I believe he made like 1.6 million or something for the.
It's insane
for the Steelers last year. Here's a great stat for you. The QBs who've started since Garrett Wilson was drafted for the Jets: Chris Streveler, I don't even know who that is. Joe Flacco, Mike White, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, Zach Wilson again, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Fields. Since 2022. It's insane. It's just, what's the plan here? What's the plan here?
I guess. I don't know.
So you have that. I'm talking about traditional franchises that are just kind of dumpster fires. And I think we've hit the Chargers kind of in our top 5 too. Or hovering. All right, so let's move to the Browns. Their plan is we're going to just throw the bag at Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Because
Right.
Myles Garrett wants to leave, which honestly
Says he wants to play for a contender.
Yeah.
And then they say, no, you don't. We're going to give you $40 million a year, $123 million guaranteed, the highest non-paid QB in NFL history. You're not going anywhere. We're going to do that. And then we found you a quarterback. We traded for Kenny Pickett. It's unbelievable. Also, what does it say about Jameis Winston, guys? Any Jameis defender. They're like, we're going to take Kenny Pickett. Kenny Small Hands Pickett.
But also, why are the Browns? I get Myles Garrett's good, but if you're the Browns, yeah. What good does it? How does he help you?
It doesn't. Just trade the guy, get picked. It's just he's a home wrecker. On defense, he's a game changer. But again, it's just
how long? Let's just. I'm gonna pick a number and you pick a number. What year do the Browns next win a playoff game?
2030.
I was gonna say 2035.
Okay.
That's 10 years. It's
honestly, how many years did they go? How many years they went? How many goddamn years until Baker Mayfield won a game? 30 years?
That's what I'm saying. And I just went, hey, you're hampered with the worst fucking contract in professional sports history. You gave just an absurd amount of guaranteed money to a rapist. And now you're doubling down with the highest paid non-QB. All right. So you have one position filled. And so you have one position filled. So 2 players are filling one position and taking up 14 positions cap space.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
To me, going like, they're not winning a playoff game for 10 years is kind of gentle. In a division with the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens.
Yeah. I know.
The Browns aren't going to be good forever. So if that's the thing, like, don't you get to a point, you fucked the Deshaun Watson thing up so hard. Don't you just have to take your L?
You do. You have to take the L.
And you just go, all right, like, what can we get for Myles Garrett? I know it's crazy because these days it doesn't matter who you are. You, like, don't command a first round. But, like, if you're going to make a guy the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, you can get a first rounder for him, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Some team out there is going to give you a first rounder.
Yeah. No, Myles Garrett's a first round. You're getting a first round for Myles Garrett.
The Jets just paid Fields $40 million. Like, there are teams out there that are dumb. The Jets might give you 2 first rounders.
Yeah.
Also, they might do that because they're going to play him at quarterback.
Trade him to the Mavs. They'll give you Dallas will give you keys to the entire operation, man. They'll give you the whole city of Dallas, Fort Worth. They might throw in the fucking Cowboys at that point. And that's my thing, is like, you were the Browns when you won a playoff game and, like, whatever, when you made it back to the playoffs with Joe Flacco and you won 11 games that year. You're known for your defense and run game. Cool, dude. You were dumpster fire last year. At some point, you need a quarterback. And Deshaun Watson wasn't that guy. You thought he was that guy, and he wasn't that guy. At some point, you need a quarterback. You're in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Like, you need a quarterback. Sorry. It's to me, it's a terrible decision. I don't know who they're appeasing. You're appeasing the fans? He's still a defensive guy. Like, are there that many fans that if you trade Garrett, they're going to be like, I'm not good. Like, they're going. They're Browns fans. They're Ohio people. They're going to go to the game. Fans, here's what's interesting about fans, especially NFL fans. They will justify awful moves in their head because of their fandom. So and I'm not saying this move was because of the fans. I don't know. My point is, I would never make a move because of the fans. The fans are idiots. I read what they say. I see it on social media. I see it on Reddit. They're idiots.
I don't even mind the Myles Garrett deal in a vacuum, but, like, you're already fucked. You fucked yourself because you took a big swing 2 years ago and you whiffed.
Yeah.
Now you have to go sit down and wait for your spot in the order to come back up. You can't just do it again, because, like, that's how you get into this situation where you're just like, okay, well, we're fucked forever.
Yeah. I know. And then you got the Steelers, which we talked about.
Remember, like, we're never going to talk about the Washington Bullets, because the Washington Bullets, or the fucking Wizards, whatever the fuck they are, the Wizards should be called the Bullets. They should be called the Washington Bullets to their own brain. But they fucking signed John Wall, and then they signed Bradley Beal. And it's like, can you guys stop giving out $50 million contracts to fucking guys who are not going to play basketball? Like, just stop doing it. Like, did you learn nothing? Now, remarkably, somehow Bradley Beal is on the Phoenix Suns at this point, but it's neither here nor there.
Well, there have been some interesting moves in that division. Then the Steelers don't have a quarterback.
Right.
But then they make a big trade.
But they have Russell Wilson under contract, or no?
No.
Okay.
That was a 1-year deal. So then they trade for DK Metcalf, which, by the way, I don't hate that trade. They get a second round. They give up a second rounder. So now you have Metcalf and you have George Pickens. Now you have 2 head cases. Now wide receivers are head cases.
You know who loves the fucking Justin Fields deal is fucking Russell Wilson's agent. He's like, fuck, dude, he's getting $40 million.
Where's Russ? Russell's going to Russell and Aaron Rodgers have nowhere to go except your Giants.
Well, but I'm saying, who's playing quarterback for the Steelers?
They don't have a quarterback.
Right. So
but that's my point. Like, so you have 2 very talented wide receivers, that are kind of also nut jobs. So you do have two talented receivers. You don't have a quarterback. There's not that many options at this point, right? Geno Smith is traded. He's going back to the Raiders, or not going back, but going back to Pete Carroll, right? So Pete Carroll's like, I'm going back to him. You have Sam Darnold. My point is like, what's left? Sam Darnold going to Seattle, which, by the way, what is going on with that?
I don't know.
Dude, have you seen the stats? Have you seen I don't have it in front of me, but have you seen the stats on Sam Darnold last year
No.
in the dome?
Versus out of the dome?
People were like, yeah, dude, between a great offensive coordinator, you know, between Minnesota, the play calling, the coach, and playing inside. And then
With
they show
Justin
us
Jefferson and
yeah. And you have Justin Jefferson and you have what's number 3? They're Addison, wide receiver. Yeah, it's like, and you have a nice defense. It's like, yeah, dude. I'm just saying Seattle's a lot different. I think it's a terrible move for Seattle. You went all in on Darnold over Geno Smith. That's bizarre to me. But my point
and
back
how
is,
much did Darnold get?
What did Darnold got? He got some money, bro. Darnold got let's pull it up here. I forget what's guaranteed. 3 years, $100 million. I think he got like 75 million guaranteed or something. 3 years, $100 million for Darnold. We saw what Darnold was those final 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that bad, like as far as the final 2 games, but he's not as good as he looked as well. So back to the Steelers. Who are your options? You stay with Russ.
Oh, they're going to stay with Russ. And now Russ is going to get fucking $25 million a year.
Or you go Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Please take Aaron Rodgers. Get him out of one of my I don't want anything to do
He's
there.
going to your Giants.
It's crazy. It's crazy. That would be an all-time bonehead Giants move. That would be the most desperation fail.
So then who else? But my point is, like, guys aren't available. Like, it's basically
for who?
drop.
For the Giants or for
in general, like a veteran quarterback in the NFL, starter. Who am I missing right now? Who am I missing that's available? Who am I missing?
Jameis Winston.
There's Jameis Winston, which would be great for the show.
If he went where? Where anywhere?
To the Giants.
No, God. I'll take Rodgers.
Who would you rather take as your quarterback? Rodgers, Wilson, or Jameis? Fuck Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Mary Kill.
Yeah.
Fuck Mary Kill. Who are you doing? Fuck Mary Kill for the Giants.
Mary Rodgers.
Mary Rodgers. You fucking Russ or Jameis?
Russ is such a fucking Christian virgin dork. Feels gross to even fuck him.
You're fucking Jameis?
Fuck Jameis, kill Russ.
That's unbelievable.
They'd love fucking Russ. They would love Russ there. They'd be like, Russ is the whitest black guy of all time. We didn't really sign a black quarterback.
Oh, the Giants?
Yeah.
Justin Wood texted me the other day. He's like, I just learned Russ was born in Cincinnati. I was like, yeah, dude, I've said it. I was like, here's the crazy part. He was born at the same hospital I was born at.
He was born in the same hospital on the same day as somebody else too. Like him and some other athlete like share a hospital day or something like that.
He's born 3 days after my birthday, not the same year, but so you're killing Russ in that situation. What kind of sex faces is Jameis making while he's taking it?
The only face he makes.
He's just eating his W's. I'm just saying, like, Joe, like, the Giants don't, again, a veteran quarterback right now, they don't have many options.
Yeah, don't. I mean, what's the point of giving?
Or do you just start DeVito and say, hey, we want Arch Manning?
Well, they're going to take. They're probably. Here's the problem with the Giants is they're probably going to fuck up and do the worst two things they could possibly do. They're probably going to sign Aaron Rodgers for $40 million a year and then draft Shedeur Sanders to like fuck. Oh, they're like, oh, we'll have a mentor him. It's like, oh, great, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
because like here's the thing, like. I didn't understand that. Yeah, they re-signed Tommy DeVito. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Because there are veteran guys out there who could just like play backup quarterback, right? Or like be a spot starter until you get to week 8 and you play fucking Cam Ward or whatever. But like, I have no idea what their thought process is. I sent a text when Stafford and was like, yeah, Stafford. And then, of course, that didn't pan out. I don't want to send a text about like fucking Aaron Rodgers, but
I'm just saying, like, there's not many options. That like this is what we're at. Even like a Zach Wilson type guy gets traded and is now with the new team. It's like even guys you don't even think of.
Like, honestly, of those 3 guys, who is the best? What's the best plan for a guy moving forward? I guess depends on if you're drafting a QB or if you're not drafting a QB. If you're drafting a QB, I guess
Russell Wilson.
No. Russell Wilson is a delusional psychopath who thinks he's going to be a starter in the NFL for 10 more seasons and is, thinks that a bearded cloud man watches over him and is judging all of us. And that's why he has to eat. He can't open his mouth too wide when he eats his Danger Russes because doesn't want to feel like he's sucking a dick or whatever. Aaron Rodgers, I would assume, can like at least half-ass mentoring a young quarterback.
You think Aaron Rodgers would be a better mentor? Interesting.
Yeah. Don't put a young quarterback. You can't put a young quarterback anywhere near Jameis. But if you're like, hey, fuck this season, then you take Jameis and you're like, all right, throw fucking Malik Neighbors, 2,000 yards in a 5-win season where you also throw the most interceptions in league. He throws 55 interceptions. But like idiot fan bases are like, so it's exciting though. We put up 45 points the other day. Yeah, we lost 62-45 because Jameis threw 4 pick sixes.
Okay, who wins more games next year? The Geno Smith-led Raiders with, again, Pete Carroll, or who's been a dumpster fire, but they have a new coach, a new quarterback. So you have the Raiders, and then you have the Seahawks, who've been basically making the playoffs. They didn't last year, but basically every year they make the playoffs. Doesn't matter who's playing quarterback. But now they have Sam Darnold. My money would be on the Raiders. Now the NFC is way easier, though.
Yeah.
Who wins more games?
I think the Seahawks, but I think it's close. I think it's like 8-7 Seahawks.
Okay.
But I'm not on this Seahawks are trending. Like, I don't like the Seahawks more than the Niners still. By the way, Kyler Murray was at the Knicks-Lakers game the other day. Standing next to him and being like, that's a professional athlete was hilarious. He walked by Floyd Money Mayweather. I was like, midget fight.
Is he that short?
So short. Yeah. Make the midgets fight each other.
I wonder if there's any. I mean, he's made a lot of money. I wonder how much money he could have made in the Major League Baseball comparison. He made a lot of money in football.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably wouldn't have done as well.
No, probably not.
He could have, but he probably wouldn't have.
So Josh Allen is now the.
Didn't they like? Was he due an extension?
No.
Like, when was he due?
When was he due?
Like, is this just them getting ahead of it? They hope this will save them money in the long run. Like 3 years from now, that money won't even be really.
I'm assuming they're getting ahead of it. He signed a excuse me, $250 million guaranteed 6-year deal. Now that's the most guaranteed money ever.
Yeah,
potential $330 million. I don't think he was due for another couple years. See, I'm a fan of the getting ahead of it.
Yeah, of course.
It's the anti-Bengals move.
Yeah, the Bengals, that's
Bro.
that's the
That's what everybody's talking about.
but here's the thing with these wide receivers too. I get that in the NFL nowadays, you're like, oh, but yeah, these guys, you could Odell Beckham, you're hurt, you never know what'll happen or whatever. But like Jamar Chase is going to be good for fucking 7 NFL seasons. You know what I mean? And what year is he going into?
This will be his 5th year.
Yeah. So it's like, after he has a fucking rookie year, just go, or second year, just go, all right, fine, 5-year extension. Take him to year 7. Be done with this shit. Like the idea.
Well, that's the point. So think about Jamar Chase. His first
the
2
idea
years,
that you have to sign these receivers, you kick it down the line. Not only do you have to pay them more, you have to pay them older. Just do the Atlanta, like NFL teams need to get hip to doing the Atlanta Braves and just get them while they're young, dumb, and hungry.
I was just going to say the Braves model.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. You bring up like after their second year. I agree. His first year, they make the Super Bowl. His second year, if you're ultimately going to pay him, second year, they make the AFC Championship. Dude, you already know. You got 2 years. You know what you got. You're totally right. Here's a 5-year deal. You can even make that argument with the quarterback sometimes. I get, okay, you got a guy on a rookie deal. You got to see how many years, especially the quarterback, you can get. But it is a game. Sometimes you got to just pay early. But
it's also different with a quarterback because the quarterback, it's the biggest cap number by far.
Yeah.
And you, like a quarterback, if you have a franchise quarterback, there's no fear at all of extending him through his 11th season. But NFL wide receivers, like what season would fucking, half of these guys who are now no longer in the NFL be like, what season would Odell Beckham be in right now?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's you know what? I think the Eagles have done that. I think they've paid guys, if I'm correct, some guys early. But you look at the Bengals now, and it's literally, you've been busy or sick or whatever. Dude, they're literally, that's what all the national media is like. What is happening? You just every day, the Bengals, they don't have a GM, but the guy's basically the GM, Duke Tobin.
So that's how you're a bad top 5 reasons you're a bad NFL franchise. You don't have a GM.
Yeah. Your de facto GM literally said to Combine, we're going to make Jamar Chase the highest paid.
It's a Jeff Foxworthy bit.
100%.
You don't have a GM?
Yeah.
You might be a dumpster fire franchise. You make your team walk across the street in cleats, you might be a dumpster fire franchise.
If you do not offer daycare or any sort of family facility for your players, wives, or baby mamas, you might be a dumpster fire franchise.
You're on year 4 of giving one of your wide receivers a franchise tag because you didn't want to give him a 3-year deal. You might be a dumpster fire franchise.
You have a bubble, which literally is pumped up like you're going to pump up a basketball. You might be a dumpster fire franchise. So their, again, de facto GM goes on record in front of everybody and said, we will make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And that's why all these analysts cannot stop laughing. They're like, dude, the number keeps increasing.
Right.
You need, your goal was to sign Hendrickson, Chase, and T. Higgins. So the comps now are Myles Garrett is the highest paid. Now you got to go above that. Max Crosby signs his deal. Oh shit. Now you got to go above that. And they always said DK Metcalf is going to be the comp for Higgins. Oh shit. He just got 30 million a year. Now you got to equal that or go above that. And it's like you're now going to pay a shit ton and run back a lot of the same team that went 9-8 and missed the playoffs. You know, I wonder with these teams, like a Bengals type or like some of these other dumpster fire, I always want to know what percent is it ineptitude / don't care because they're going to make money.
Well, they're going to make money either way.
So I'm saying, so like what percentage of it is we don't care or we do, but we're just so backwards in how we operate a business.
Yeah. Well, why would you want to spend more? Like, you know, it's not like they're doing the fucking Pittsburgh Pirates thing where they're like, we're not going to pay anybody. We're going to make money anyway. Like they're saying they're going to pay all these guys or they're going to pay some part of all these guys. That like, yeah, I think it's more just incompetence.
So they did it. I sent this to Justin Wood. There was like a huge, because the stadium negotiation stuff is going to start heating up here because the lease expires. And there's all the things here because it's publicly owned by the county here in Cincinnati.
If you're leasing your stadium from the county, you might be a dumpster fire franchise.
So they're doing all these like in-depth reports locally here. So of course I read them. My brother always jokes, he's like, you're the number one Bengals hater that I know. You're insane. You just love sending screenshots of like the fuck ups. But they did an in-depth article here, a local news station. And because the trope that they use here, and I bet they use this trope at a lot of teams that are like owned by like the Bengals have been owned, right? They've been not fully owned, but they've been in ownership with the Brown family. At least some percentage since they started, right? Like 67 or 68. Anyway, the profit. So what the Bengals have made since the new stadium started in 2000, which would be the Brown family, over $1 billion.
Profit.
$1 billion, over $1 billion in 24 seasons. So again, the argument of like, they don't have money is like, yeah, they do, because it's literally right here. Read it. But I think again, a lot of these fans will weirdly justify, you know, that's the only business that they have for the Steelers or the Bears or who, you know, pick a team that's been around.
Right.
Oh, the Ford, you know, well, the Ford's different. They got Ford money with the Lions, but you see my point of like, no, guys, they just don't want to spend it. They just don't want to spend it.
Listen, I can tell you this, and I'm gonna try to do this without outing my friends too much, but like the simple fact of the matter is like my family wasn't like mega wealthy by any means, you know what I mean? Like we were a upper middle class family. Like my parents, like my dad did pretty well, but like pretty well with 4 kids is like a lot, you know what I mean? You're the same way. It's like my mom's not sitting on, you know, we're not getting an inheritance when she passes away. Like she's not sitting on this like millions of dollars that we stored away. It's like everybody went to private school and everybody had a car when they were 16 and everybody whatever. So it's like, yeah, you turn 16 or you turn 17 or whatever, you get a car. Your family's doing pretty well, but like there's also no, you know, there's no like warehouse full of old Porsches that we're like getting rid of and whatever. My friends who are in the football business in the late 80s, early 90s were similar level people in the world. We like Tao were friends. We're like, we go to the same schools and we hang out at the same places and we swim at the same public pool and whatever. And now it's a mega, like it will be a fucking warehouse full of Porsches and they're a football family. That's all their business is.
Yeah.
Like the idea that this is the 1990s, again, like you talk about the Elway thing. Like, oh, if he had taken ownership in the team, he'd be worth $7 billion or whatever. It's like the last 15 years of the NFL, 20 years of the NFL,
The league is
was
just
a
grown.
skyrocket
Yeah.
of value.
Oh,
You
yeah.
went from owning something that was like worth, tens of millions of dollars that you split between your family
billions.
to owning something worth this multiple billion, like tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah. Exactly. And those TV deals just keep getting more lucrative. And that's why the salary cap keeps getting bumped. Just the amount of money. I don't think people can really fathom the amount of money. Or even just to say that. You have profited over $1 billion in 25 years. And that's only going to increase. We were talking about that here in my house. And the question was like, and I've heard this from people too in the city. And again, this would be a lot of other teams. You'd say, why don't they just sell at this point? People will say, well, why doesn't the Brown family dude, they're valued at $4 to $5 billion, probably going to sell because there's only 32 of them in the whole world, right? They would probably sell for, why don't they just sell? And people always say, well, my answer always is like, I think a lot of it's ego.
Oh, well, what else would it be?
I said, it's ego, and it's like, oh, this has been in my family.
There goes the Brown family. They own the Bengals.
Exactly. It's like, it's what's the difference between you're earning hundreds of millions or $100 million every year as a family versus, I know it's next level money, billions, but it's like the level of wealth, like you said, I just don't think people can really comprehend it, which has just skyrocketed.
Which is why it's insane to be like, we're some family-run thing, and we don't have a GM because it's
I
my
hate
daughter,
those
and
that.
it's like,
We're
fucking
family-run. You're a family-run business that generates literally fucking billions of dollars. Like,
yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Also, your family-run business is wallowing in fucking mediocrity for the entirety of your family's existence. It's like, okay, cool, I guess. So your family's bad at this.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I asked the question on these franchises is like, what percentage it is don't care because they will earn that money, and then what percentage is ineptitude of just like,
and that's the thing. It's like, why not sell it? It's like, well, what are you investing your money in that's going to do better than this?
Nothing.
Right.
You're not going to be able to play the market and get a return like that. You're just not.
No.
I mean, how many times have I said it on this show? If I could go back in time, if I could have a time machine, there's a lot of things to do. I think it'd be so cool to get an ownership stake in an NFL team. But wait, can you imagine me as an NFL owner? What would I be? What would Andy Ruther be like as an NFL owner?
I don't know, but Russ would be your quarterback. That's for sure.
Speaking of bad ownership and family run, let's talk about the Chargers and the Spanos for a second. I told Brandon, guys, the Chargers keep calling me for season tickets. Are they
calling me? He'll keep calling me.
Are they that hard up over there? They gotta be.
Yeah,
they gotta be.
It's a big fucking stadium, dude.
I had season tickets for the 2020 COVID year, which I bought in 2019. I'm still living in LA. And the Chargers are now calling me 5 years later. You got Harbaugh. I mean, so you got the coach. Now, Justin Herbert, we have a lot of questions, like I do. At this point.
You gotta say you got the quarterback though. Like you
got the quarterback. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
you're not looking for a quarterback.
No, you're not looking for a quarterback. You got
rid of Bosa.
You got rid of Bosa.
Wild.
He's been hurt a lot. I don't know.
I know. I get it. It's just wild. Like to me, it's wild that the league
today for a year.
What's that?
They re-signed Khalil Mack for a year.
It's wild that there's a world that exists where Myles Garrett just gets like, all right, $40 million for the next whatever, and Bosa's like, you have zero dollar value.
Well, I think he had signed such a big deal before with again, you need this is where an accountant comes into play, where you're balancing the budget and the numbers and the payroll and guys who are smart, who can understand the cap, and you move this number here, you move this around here. Okay, here's a question. We all saw what Herbert did. We talk about two dumpster franchises, the Bengals and the Chargers. We all saw what Herbert did in the playoffs. He's never won a playoff game. Burrow's won 5. Who wins a playoff game next? Or first, I'm sorry. The Bengals or the Chargers?
Well, you're the world's foremost Bengals hater, so you go first.
Well, I'm going to take the Chargers coach. I'm going to take the Bengals quarterback. Defense, I'm going to trust the Chargers. They already turned it around in 1 year. You also have a defensive-minded coach. They're both in tough divisions. I'm going to say because of Harbaugh, Chargers.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say too. Everybody's like, it's going to take the Chargers a minute. It's going to take the John Harbaugh's not Jesus Christ. It's going to take like they made the playoffs. Immediately made the playoffs.
Looked bad in the playoffs.
Looked bad in the playoffs, but immediately made the playoffs. So I'm penciling them in for a playoff appearance again next year. Now, do they win a game? I don't know. But I'm penciling them in for a playoff appearance. I'm not penciling the Bengals in yet.
Yeah.
Now, if the Steelers re-sign Russ and then it's DK Metcalf, Russ, whatever, I guess start leaning a little bit more toward the Bengals.
I'll be real curious. Could you see Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers?
Yeah. To me, it's a more obvious fit, kind of a more obvious no-brainer than Aaron Rodgers to the Giants, because that was the Steelers' method for a while with the end of Ben Roethlisberger, which is like, you're not what you were, but you are competent. All we do is play defense. You don't turn the ball over. We'll protect you, blah, 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 blah. Well, let's hope we win fucking 10-7 games. They started undefeated 1 year for how many games?
Like 11-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's I don't know. Some of these moves are interesting. Like you look at the Rams, they get Devontae Adams, but then they're letting Cooper Kupp go, which like
feels weird to me.
Isn't that kind of like an interesting one?
Yeah.
But both are old. Both are like in their early 30s, I think. I don't know.
Because you had Devontae Adams with Rodgers last year.
You did.
That was his boy.
Yeah.
So what was your issue?
What was my issue?
No, what was Devontae Adams' issue? That they're the fucking Jets?
I mean, what did he produce last year?
Here's my issue with Devontae Adams and the Rams is like, I get letting Cooper Kupp go.
He still played decent on the Jets, actually.
What's decent?
I mean, combined, he had over 1,000 yards and eight touchdown catches.
Woo! 1,000 yards these days is fucking
okay.
Playing 18 games, so he catches 70 yards a game.
17 games, but yeah, I mean,
I thought letting Cooper Kupp go makes sense because you have Puka and you're like, we got the new Cooper Kupp, and now we run it back. Now he slides into the Cooper role. We're going to have to pay him. Then we go out and find the new Puka, and we just keep running this system. Devontae Adams seems, I mean, I know a couple of years ago they went and they got Odell Beckham and they did that thing, but they kind of got him when he was like, down in Beverly Hills. You go out and you get Devontae Adams. I'm like, listen, if anybody can do it, it's the Rams. I like the Rams. I like Matt Stafford. I like McVay, but it just feels like with the cost versus the value, if McVay is going out and getting these guys in the 5th round,
Yeah.
then what do you need Devontae Adams for?
Well, I guess I don't know. Obviously, I think they're saving some money versus what they were going to pay Cup. I don't know if they're more worried about Cup's recent injury. He's been injury prone the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I basically hate every spend in the NFL now. To me, it's like if you're smart, if you're a good, well-run team, I feel like you don't need to spend because then you can just go out and find value.
I think some are smart. Like, I liked what the Eagles did. Saquon had a great year, and they just said, okay. But like, they're not insanely breaking the bank. We're going to pay you again for 2 more good years. Like, 2 more good years. You're a running back. We know the shelf life for running back in the NFL. Like, I think that's a smart move. So he shreds his ACL. Like, that could suck. But again, it's rewarding guys who've produced. And like you said, I think to do that early on is smart on a lot of these players. And you're seeing it with the Bengals. You're seeing it with Micah Parsons in the Cowboys. All these guys' fees are just that much higher because they didn't reward them when they produced.
No, I'm not saying never spend ever on anybody. Like certainly on the guys, but we just talked about it. Spend when they're on your team and they're young and you like them and they're good, etc. But to me, it's like if you're the Chargers and you're like, Bosa's been injury prone and blah 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 blah, and you go, he's out. Then I assume if you're a well-run team that you go in the draft, we get this guy, he goes into that role. We're going to take down the cap number at this position and replace it with one that's 0, at the minimum, the rookie deal or whatever. And then you find another spot where you're deficient, you fill that role. The idea that some of these teams go like, we don't want to pay Cooper Kupp, we'll pay Devontae Adams instead. I'm like, I don't know. Didn't you just go and get a better receiver than both of them in the 5th round?
You're saying go draft another Puka. Go draft another Cooper Kupp.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, to me, whereas another team, when you're right there, what the Eagles did last year with Saquon is like, oh, we don't have a running back. We let this guy go. We didn't value him as much. Now we're just going to pay this guy on a 1-year deal. And it worked out. And now they're extending him. That's a whole different story. But like, is the Rams didn't beat the Eagles last year because they didn't have Devontae Adams?
Well, I'm not saying, I wouldn't say that for sure. I would, no. I think there's a lot of reasons they didn't beat the Rams or the Eagles. Definitely wasn't I wouldn't pin it on the wide receiver position. No. All right. Well, I'll be curious to see if these last dominoes fall. Basically,
were those all the big ones today?
I'm missing some guys. I don't know. I feel like we've talked about a lot of them. I mean, there was a big trade. Let's see here. This was a big trade. It was Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
That was a big trade to Washington from Houston.
See, like, I get that, right? I get going like, hey, we got a young quarterback. We were already ahead of where we thought we were. Ain't nobody got time to go develop a fucking tackle.
All right, let's wrap it up, Joe.
At Joe Prano on all social media. Give me a follow.
Cool.
Wish me the best. I'm dying. Fucking dying.
I've
had a headache this whole goddamn show.
All right, we'll get you out. At Andy Ruther, hotline 310-359-8365. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on Thursday or Friday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.